Dois.
Daqui, ó.
Cai na ponta aqui, né? É. Vou cair na outra. Você cai nessa, vou cair na outra.
Freitas. Não, Freitas não, Glacial quer dizer. Cadê? Flávio tá online, ô louco, Flávio tá online. Seu feioso, fica quieto. Seu monstro feio, fica quietinho, feioso. Tá bom. Quem que chega na minha casa? Eu não quero ir na sua casa. Eu não quero ir na sua casa, velho. Eu tenho um monte de brinquedo. Eu tenho um monte de dinheiro. Quietinho. T. Quietinho. 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 T. 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 Então fica aí, então. Não. É sério, eu não sabia, meu Deus, oh meu Deus do céu. Eu não sabia que era uma frente do Luiz. Vai pra lá, Luiz, não tá brincando, tô falando sério, Luiz. Dá licença. Vou tomar. Vai, dá licença. Esse fone merda, velho. Feio. É sim, tá mentindo. Feio. É sim. Goblin. Goblin. Feioso. Você é feio, você é feio, feio, feio.
Sim, editei e dei no scope. Bah!
Oh, o Savoy entrou, mano.
Eu não consegui atirar. Outras
Mano, eu
e aí
pensei
eu
que tava
vou
no Discord depois de apresentar pros caras, mano.
Vou clipar, tá nem fodendo.
Calma aqui, mano. Então, bota aí Gonçalo Pereira. Acho que é Gonçalo.
Mano, fala um pouquinho alto, tá falando absurdamente baixo.
Eu?
Aham.
Caralho, moleque.
Eu não quero aumentar meu fone, mas eu tenho que aumentar. Gonçalo Pereira, se puder fazer uma doação, eu aceito. Pode me adicionar?
Posso.
Sim, sim. Mano, é melhor você me aceitar.
Aham.
Youtuber Saboy underline Saboy. Tá aí em cima ali, ó. Olha lá onde eu comentei no chat.
Caraca, garoto. Meu Deus do céu.
Vamos montar.
Tem que com eco.
Vamos montar esse cara, mano.
Ô, louco, mano.
Quem tá com eco, velho?
Caralho, moleque.
Abaixa o fone.
Ô, louco. Microfone zoado, mano.
Você tá escutando, Glacial?
Eu tô.
Morreco. Ah não, velho.
Ninguém tá com eco aqui não, você tá ficando biruta aí. Para aí, meu.
Mano, esse cara pra trollar o... entrar em PT aleatório pra trollar os caras da hora, velho. Nossa, os caras aqui tão...
Glacial, tu nunca viu uma bala mais OP na vida.
Nossa, cheguei a ficar surdo.
Você falou que você ficou surdo? Agora você vai ficar de verdade. Não, para agora.
Calma aí.
Eu não consegui te adicionar você, eu acho que aquele dia.
Meu Deus.
Você não conseguiu adicionar o nome, mano.
Posso falar agora, aperta a boca, porque...
Você não conseguiu adicionar no Discord?
Não consigo adicionar você no Discord.
Tá, manda no chat.
Glacial, vê esse vídeo, mano.
Tá, manda no chat pra mim, que você vai rir, mano.
Bala.
Toma. Isso foi para a bala que tu me deu.
Achei.
Eita porra.
Se alguém puder enviar
Faz
no
isso,
chat
tá feito
aí.
agora.
Depois vão tudo
Mano, no
bagunçar.
scope, mano. No scope, velho.
Isso eu faço todo dia.
Onde você erra todo dia. Pá, pá, pá.
Nossa, mano, eu tô desconcentradinho aqui, mano.
Tô vendo você aí.
É isso?
Agora, não, agora que você fica desconcentrado mesmo.
Ah, aquele app lá me deixou...
Oi. Que? Tá desconcentrado? Trabalhando, não sabe? Não dá mais agora.
Eu foda que eu sei fazer, mano.
Que isso, Glacial? Você tá errando muito, Glacial!
Não, mas eu não erro não, mano.
Eu sei que você não é. Então, é igual aquele dia. Tem dia que tá bom, tem dia que não tá.
Não, não é que eu não tô. Não é que eu tô ruim, mano. Aquele eco lá me deixou perdoado, mano.
Mentira. Tá evitando desculpa.
É sério, velho.
Tá evitando desculpa. Moleque, desculpão.
Verdade, tá verdade, desculpa.
Aquele Shurek me deixou esbarrado aí.
É, foi,
Vamos
mano.
fazer tudo bagunçado.
É, eu
Pra iniciar.
quero jogar aí.
É pro player, mano. O recorde dele é 42.
Mentira, agora é 10. Eu bati hoje.
É.
Eu bati.
Inclusive esse cara viu, mano. Não, esse cara viu. Aí.
Sério, Glacial?
Mano, Glacial, vai lá ver o vídeo.
Não, mano, agora não é pô, velho.
Quem tá podre, hein?
Neto, vai ver só essa bala.
Qual que é o recorde de kill dele?
10, só isso.
Mentira, mano. É, exagerei um pouco. É
Eu bati
39,
Não,
39.
mas é 10, eu bati hoje, eu juro pra você.
Mano, ele tem Renegade, Cavaleiro Negro, Galaxy, Icone.
Mentira.
Tem a zumbizinha. Tem sim, mano. Ele tá
Eita,
jogando
eu
de
só vi
default.
essas skins aí que
Não,
você
é
viu
sério,
na
mano.
loja.
É sério, é sério.
Essas skins eu vi na
Não, é
loja,
sério.
mas compraram.
Não, não.
Ele é do teu clã, Glacial?
Não. Era pra ser, mas o cara me adicionou lá pra eu chamar ele pro.
É, só que eu não consegui adicionar ele.
Ele tem
Ah,
todas as
sou
skins,
dele,
cara.
viu?
Baixa os duplas que você tem, mano. Nem clique.
Não, eu não faz. Na paz aí, na paz.
Ele me dá trabalho.
Quem que é melhor, seu ou Glacial?
Ah, se você. Aí, mano. Baixa ele aqui. Olha, ele tá lá na plataforma.
Sério que ele tem Renegade?
Mentira, mano.
Ele tem todas as caras. É verdade, mano. Para,
Mano,
ô.
eu tinha aqui, mas eu perdi minha conta de aqui.
Não, não, mentira. Vai, essa plataforma tá bugada, mano. Pera aí, sai fora daí. Vai na outra, mano.
Ele é podre, hein? Agora
Ele joga de default, mano, pros caras não focar ele.
Mentira, mano. Realmente, hoje. Eu nem sei jogar, ele tá vendo?
Você viu meu novo combo ou tá boy?
Inicia aqui, ô.
Eu caí tudo.
Eu vou
Pode
ficar muito bom.
acordar. Ah, eu
Constrói de madeira vocês dois, tá? Mas,
Ah, tá, beleza.
ó, se acertar, vai apanhar.
A minha madeira é diferente, sabe? A mais reforçada. Olha isso, mano. É quando
A gente constrói.
Joga no PS4 ou console?
PS4.
Quer dizer, falei tudo errado.
Ó, não.
PS4.
Eu também sou de PS4.
Ó, pode, ó, aqui, ó.
Jogo PS4 ou console?
PS4.
Eu falei
Ó,
errado.
no scope. Ah, tô de no scope, né?
Eu também sou de PS4, você tá tirando
Você
tudo.
pode até matar eu, mano. Eu até agora.
Eu tô muito ruim, velho, porque eu coloquei meus P4 na sala e eu fico longe dele.
Nossa, por que toda vez que eu vi 90 graus tem uma merda, uma RAM? Cadê Rick? Ele se pode.
Mano, eu tô dando vida
Nossa,
jogando
mano.
com esse
O
cara.
Glacial não vai fazer mais nenhum X1. Agora vocês vão ver o que é.
Agora que eu vou te atrás de.
Tu não vai conseguir fazer nenhum X1. Vou te derrubar tudo.
Ah, aí deu. Agora eu tô ficando atrás de você.
Você é covarde, ele derruba.
Vai. Olha aqui.
Pode até ficar me matando, mas eu não vou deixar fazer nenhum X1.
Caí muito. Mas na moral que você tem Renegade.
É mentira, mano.
Tem, mano.
É mentira, mano. Não tem um Renegade, mano.
Não tá pegando choque.
É sério, Glacial?
É,
Vai
mano.
ter aula terça?
Nossa, não
Mano,
tá
Rick,
mentindo,
joga
Glacial.
Mente,
Joga
mano.
uma futebol. O que tá fazendo?
Eu consegui tirar bastante chute. Eu tirei uns 150 da vida dele.
Eu tô errando no 1.90, eu tô praticando um negócio novo. Cadê a faca? Ah, é um...
O YouTube sai boy. Bob, não sei.
Tô caçando...
YouTube sai Bob.
Nossa, Glacial, espero que você não fique puto comigo.
Quê?
Nada.
Agora quem é o desgraçado? Por que tá chutando?
Bora jogar squad? Quantas pessoas tem?
Ô, Sapoy, põe a... O escudão no cavaleiro.
Não sai fora, velho!
Mano, isso não vai te dar isso, mano. Se isso puder, isso vai dar pra...
Eu não preciso de skin.
Meu Deus, estamos jogando.
O YouTube sai Bob.
Mano, essa boy, esse avião aí.
Sai boy. O que eu ia falar? Você põe Renegade?
Não tenho Renegade, eu não tenho.
Ele faz isso, mano, botar isso.
Não tem?
Mano, ó, eu tinha uma conta com skin, mas não tinha Renegade. Mas ela era, minha primeira conta era Season 1, essa conta que eu tinha. Ela era da Season 1.
Você joga Claw?
Eu contorno normal.
Não, se você joga Claw.
Como assim?
Com o dedo indicador aperta X, tudo lá. Ah, tá. Mano, que é? Ô, Rick, aí não dá, né? Olha só, o Rick encheu de trap, ele não dá. Você vai ficar treinando, né?
Eu?
Vai ficar treinando?
Tem eu?
Quem puder fazer doação, vai ver
Eu-
essa doação.
Olha lá, ele fala que não tem sim, ele fala que não tem sim. Dá isso aí pra ele.
Não, tô falando de doação aqui na TV.
Vocês querem jogar um esquadrão? Hein, Gostó?
Hã?
Vocês querem jogar um esquadrão, sei lá?
Meu Deus, Glacial!
Ah, tinha jogado uns 150, eu vou acertar o. Fica igual.
Oi?
Eu tinha acertado 155. E vou acertar o outro pra ficar igual.
Ah, mano, não dá pra tirar comigo.
Tem aqui um buraco, porra. Vou tirar essa porra.
Pera aí, deixa eu iniciar ele, deixa eu ter um carinha assim.
Hein, gente,
Eu ia
vamos
tirar
jogar um
tudo.
esquadrão?
Bora, tanto
Tanto
faz.
faz.
Bora, já tô
Bora,
bem
vamos
aquecido.
quitar então.
Tô dentro, hein. Eu tô quitando já, vou voltar pra central. Já voltei pra central.
Deixa eu adicionar o cara aí.
Quita.
Ó, eu tô dentro, hein. Agora já tá dentro.
Eu também tô.
Mano, tem muita gente. Neto, tem como jogar esse código. Tem como jogar isso. Passa no bate-papo aí, ô. Ah, tá. Já passa. Tá bom, aí passa todo de parte.
Ah, minha tag aqui, peraí.
Oi.
Você vai jogar, Neto?
Ele só joga até as 19 daí.
Foi mal.
Neto, você vai jogar? Expulso, Neto. Tô zoando. Não sei.
Não.
Rick. Quem vai jogar squad é eu, o Glacial e o Manito lá. E mais um.
Calma aí, galera. Ô, passa o seu Discord, mano.
Eu apaguei o Discord.
Você fez o quê?
Apaguei o Discord, mas vou baixar.
Que é isso que tá aparecendo maior pontuação?
Maior pontuação o quê?
Você já virou? Que massa que tem?
Ah, eu
Você
peguei
tem um
aqui.
WhatsApp então? O site pode. Você tem um WhatsApp? Se tem um WhatsApp,
Que é esse treco iniciar transmissão de vídeo?
Ignorado com sucesso.
Eu não arrumei meu
Que é isso, meu Deus?
Faço o Face, mano.
Ignorado com
Eu tô
sucesso.
jogando PS4?
Você não tem WhatsApp, mano?
Não. Tá bugado, mano.
Beleza.
Que isso, velho? Que eu tô
Ó, o
assistindo? Eu tô assistindo a World Cup, mano.
Eu sei, mano. Todo mundo já sabe disso, que é World Cup, mano. Pode gritar.
Eu nem sabia disso,
É o de
velho.
Cup gringa isso aí. Ó, adiciona no Facebook, mano. Mandei meu nome aí no. A minha foto tá meio amarelada, mano. Dando foto lá na.
Quem eu tô assistindo?
Você tem WhatsApp, Gabão? Gabão. Ô, Gabão.
Oi.
Você tem WhatsApp?
Tem, mas não tá aqui comigo, não.
Não, o celular não tá com você, quer dizer.
Calma aí. É Leandro. Cadê o pai?
Eu tenho o Rick, mais dois caras aí. Não, Gustavo. Nossa, tem uma galera aqui.
Nossa, Rick, adivinha o que eu tô assistindo?
Você é um cara que tá
Assistindo o Nix.
dando joinha?
Ozônio.
Aham. Onde fala
Parece um goblin, mano. Brincadeira.
Alguém tá assistindo a World Cup?
Não, ninguém. Só eu.
Eu.
Mano, por que vai ser retorno aqui por
O ruim da World Cup é que é tudo lagado.
Né?
É que hoje. O Facebook Brasil tá transmitindo no Facebook o.
E no YouTube?
Você mandou aí a solicitação?
Mandei, é isso. Não tem como mandar solicitação pra você.
Mandou o cara errado então.
Só mandei a mensagem. Eu sei, o Magrinho tá dando joinha, não é?
Quem que é esse cara, Rick?
Sei lá.
Ah, é americano esse World Cup, né?
Sim, mano, eu já vou colocar já no YouTube.
Sabe que a maioria dos melhores caras
Ô, Savoy, tá de blusa preta, mano?
Sim.
não fazem
Mano,
YouTube,
esse
né?
cara tá fazendo a limpa.
Calma aí, eu
Mano, não.
Meu Deus, mano.
Joga muito, velho.
Joga muito, mano.
Joga melhor, só melhor.
Esse cara joga muito, Rick.
Quem que é o
Muita
cara?
O
pouco.
cara matou 4 seguidos.
Caguei.
O Nick vai passar mal na World Cup lá em Estados Unidos. Ele e o Leléo.
Ele vai passar muito mal, mano.
Deu pau nos dois.
Você não tá vendo que os caras que eu e o Rick tá assistindo um dia, 4 caras seguidos que veio tudo nele.
Quem que é? Black, Black, Nossa, ele
Que diz, caralho?
Ah, mano, vai ter que expulsar o Neto,
ó.
mano.
Isso sim, ó, é respeitar um icônico, entendeu? Agora, ninguém que só usa icônico pra dançando, mano. Tem meu respeito, não.
Ah, então você não vai ter meu respeito, porque eu vou comprar uma icônica aqui.
Eu tô jogando o jogo da pizza.
Vai ganhar, mano. Mas.
Você acha que ele vai ganhar, o Glacial?
Aham.
Você tá assistindo, Glacial?
Esse é daqueles caras que ganha.
Mano, esse cara
todas as
joga
partidas.
demais. Você viu o Glacial?
Olha isso! Olha isso! Olha a build! Caralho, moleque!
O Rick
Mano,
lá,
esse cara jogou demais.
o Nick está achando que vai ser fácil pegar os 50 milhões? Ah,
Deixa ele ficar rushando.
Ô, Glacial, você viu aquele cara jogando? O cara levou muito, mano.
Mas se for,
Mano, eu vou continuar vendo isso.
o esquadrão perfeito ia ser, hein? O esquadrão perfeito ia ser pra esse World Cup.
Não, o jogo...
Ia ser o Nix e o Flex Power. Mano, os dois.
Esse cara é tudo americano.
Nix e Flex Power, mano. Deve matar todo mundo.
Ó o Mongrau.
Mungrau, olha o Mungrau ali em quinto.
eu acho que esse tema com o Grau tá jogando. Ele jogou e ganhou. Não. 12 vezes.
Mungrau classificou.
Secret Mongrel.
Ah, mano.
E aquele cara lá em cima? Eu tô em primeiro.
Ah, meu nome lá.
O que vocês estão vendo?
Meu nome em terceiro lá.
O cara ganhou 10 mil dólares, mano.
Aquele cara meio gordinho, ele também joga Fortnite.
Mano, gostei de não classificou, porra.
Quem?
Valeu, João.
Gostei dele.
Não
O
conheço.
X lá.
E o Mr. Savage.
Ah,
Ele
mano.
também joga muito.
Isso é meu World Cup. É da Europa. É o meu World Cup.
Sim, né, cara?
Não, caramba.
Quando é que vai ser o voto do World Cup?
Bora jogar. Quando nós terminar a partida, quando nós acabar a partida,
Sei.
nós volta. Pra ver.
Vai, mano. Tu vai jogar?
Bora. Aí
Bora
nós-
jogar agora.
Bora. Aí depois, quando nós voltarmos no World Cup,
Quem que vai ter que
Não é da
expulsar?
Europa.
Nossa, tô jogando aqui.
tem que sair.
Mano, o Neto não vai jogar?
Quem que saiu? Glacial. Bom, né?
Jogo do Glacial, o cara achou.
Não sei.
O Gay expulsou.
Nem tá mais online.
É,
Espera.
Pode ir. Coloque squad. Coloque squad. Meu Deus. Ô Neto.
Oi.
Coloca duplo então.
Ah, deixa eu sair aqui, calma aí.
Começou
Eu
o
vou
jogo,
sair também, pô.
Não, começou. Começou o World Cup já. Porque tava enrolando. Agora só
Quê?
vocês começar. Não, World Cup esses caras ainda estão falando. Coloca dupla aí. Ah, chill, Luiz. Nossa senhora. O outro saiu. Se ferrar. Ô, chatice. Nossa, o áudio do meu fone tá uma bosta. Mano, vocês que estão aí, vocês que é na party da. Como que fala? Na Cube TV, vocês querem jogando ou vocês querem ver o World Cup Mundial? Eu prefiro mesmo realmente ver o Mundial, mano. Do Fortnite, Campeonato Mundial. Mas tanto faz, escolha suas. Comenta aí se vocês querem. Eu coloco o World Cup brasileiro. cara, travou. É isso, cara, travou meu jogo, cara. Nossa senhora, travou, por que travou? Vamos jogar o World Cup brasileiro. Opa, mano, e aí?
Pronto, convidei todo mundo que deu.
Beleza, mano.
Vai.
Seja bem-vindo à live aí.
Salve, bonito.
Watch and kind of digest, and just kind of from sticking around and studying these guys' play, you can level up your own game.
Especially like the minor differences between different people's play, right? Like you as a player, you might say, I love Glider Redeploy, and that is my go-to item.
Yep.
For me, I might say, look, I value the Shadow Bombs more because it just lends itself to my playstyle and the things I'm looking to do. You know, especially as Fortnite continues to evolve, new patches come out, new weapons, items, utility, all that. Like, it's just an ever-changing game. To see these guys adapt and just everything in their hands is lethal. It's like, gray AR, it doesn't matter. I'm just going to find 10 elims. Gray tech, doesn't matter, 10 elims.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
They make it look so good. Now take a look at Rona, who somehow manages to find some high ground off that Shadow Bomb, doing a really good job at climbing up here. Makes the edit one step ahead of Unknown. Space there, kind of steps out before his counterplay can even happen. Now he is set up. He has a setup shop right here. Who's at the ultimate top? It's Alfie. Alfie firing down, and someone else is just above him. You can see there, it's Brave. I will not lose. He's got the ultimate high here. Alfie says, you know what? I want no part of that. He is coming down into Rona. See what Rona's going to do with these final moments here. He steps into another player's box. 120. Such a tight crosshair to hit these shots. You got to respect the aim here and the consistency, Zeke.
This is, I mean, this is what separates Sosman from the rest, right? There's so much confidence behind his play, and this is what I love talking about because that's what resonates with me, is how confident you are in the moment of things happening, right? Just look at this, not building. He has 13 builds, so it's not much, but he doesn't need to build. He knows what's going on. He's dictating the tempo of this game, right? Right now, Sosman is on that lowest level. Bray is up above. And now, I mean, Sosman's got 10 elims, all right? This is huge. He's going to try and go against Bray. Now, Bray does have more materials, 35-2, but now they're saying, you know, let's go toe-to-toe. Can Sosman line up the shot? He actually drops down below Monster. This engagement didn't even pan out. Oh.
Is he going to be able to get him? Is he going to be able to break these builds and bring him down to him? You saw Rona Season was just trying to stick it all the way through. And Rona Season is Sosman, guys. For those of you guys just tuned in, so these final moments are everything. He's looking to get these low ground peaks. He's got the storm in his favor. He's still tracking with it. And he hits every shot, every single peak, every moment, every pixel goes to Rona.
And that's what I kind of talked about, dictating the tempo, right? It was Rona who's telling everyone else in the lobby, this is what we're doing now. Because you saw the player above. They had health advantage. They had shields. Sosman didn't. He was down to, what, like 50 HP and then pops the slurp. And then that other player was so afraid to fire back because he was like, look, this guy's going to crack me in the face every single time. You can just tell by the way he's moving. He's confident. He sees that win.
And that's what I was going to say. Like, it's so funny that even with the high ground, sometimes you can just tell a good, like, low ground warrior will poise up in such a way that you're like, dude, if I, like, look over, like, he's going to shoot me. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you just know. So in those final moments, you kind of just knew, man, he was going to get shot. And, you know, hate to see it. not be able to clutch up. But on to the next guys is ORNZY. Ornzy.
I think that's making me like sending me back into my previous
You
Fortnite
just
games
know,
where it's
right?
like I want to fight a guy and I'm like, this guy's crazy. Like, why would he do this? I'm just gonna get this guy, and then he just completely demolishes me. I'm like, he is crazy good at Fortnite. That's what was going on. Now look at this, Ornzy here. Great pickup. My goodness, 3 elims just like that. Now keep in mind, he's outside of top 25. So he's got to be a little bit careful here of how he navigates. Again, on the right side of your screen there, you see Sosman, again, the person who qualified from OCE. His name currently is Rona Season, aka Sosman, just to make sure you know. But look at this loadout, dude.
It's looking good. One of the underrated things about the minigun is the extreme high fire rate. It might actually have the highest fire rate in the game when it's fully cooked, and because of that, it can defend. So if you guys haven't given up the minigun a swirl, I should say, try and pressure someone down when they're in the box with it, and let me know if you pierce through the turbo build, if you get some shots. But don't forget, guys, we're tuning in straight with the OCE games here, which already kind of developed over the evening here at the Fortnite World Cup. Players have already punched their ticket to New York City. This is the last solo opportunity. Next week will be duos, but today it's all about the solo action. You can find yourself in the Big Apple.
Big Apple for a slice of pizza, like Golden Boy likes to say. I don't know why I like to keep perpetuating that, but here we are.
For a slice at 30M.
Yeah, there you go. You know, something really cool about Rona's loadout, look at this. He's actually maxed. We were able to see his mat count there for a little bit. He's completely maxed on everything. He actually has extra metal laying close by. Max rockets with the 12. Completely great AR. Look at this, 650 rounds of small ammunition, 130 slugs, 8 deploys, a single shadow bomb. Sure, you know, he probably wishes he had 6. But this is a loadout you want to make plays with. He's going to send shots over to the player, trying to get in. Lucas is going to get caught out, making a rotation, and that elim puts him in the top 25.
He is there, knocking on the door here, and this is how his journey unfolded to make it through to the Fortnite World Cup. Every opportunity that he has to take someone out, you can see he's singling out players and taking advantage of the positioning, but hopping around the map. These are some other players' journey as well, as we have Ariel here looking for the heavy snipe, finds a weak opportunity in the build. Whoever that is up above him is going to manage to connect the structure, but you know what? Ariel pops a nice little cone up. He's trying to go for it. He's really trying to get a piece of this high ground here. And now he disengages the pursuit, but is still tunneling on by.
That's good though. You know, if you don't have all the information, it's best to not try and go for the play, especially in finals. If this is, you know, semifinals, go for it, right? Like at worst, you're just set back a game, you could re-queue and everything's okay, but in finals, every single interaction does matter. So for Ariel, you know, he could have potentially challenged for that high ground, but it's like, I just kind of use my heavy snipe. I don't have that key to all doors. Let me just get myself to safety, take a moment, reload, gather more information. And because of just that slight pause, look, he's now in top 15. He found an elim, which he was hunting for before. He just finds it in another place. And now he's still just continuing. He picks up a rift to go as well. Heavy snipe gonna be picked up too. So now, I mean, Ariel's in a great spot right now.
Yeah, for sure. That nice little mat replenish there from catching the elim is going to throw him back in the running here to try and see if he can squeak out a victory. Up at the high ground, we have other things unfolding. Kalen goes down to Samurai. Sosman still alive in the mid-tart, putting down pressure. Squall's in a campfire here. That's a signal to the rest of the lobby that, hey, there's someone weak nearby. Sosman hears the shadow bombs kind of thrown all around him. What's he going to do here? He's just on the hunt. OCE region specifically requires you to get a ton of eliminations if you want to be number 1. There's only one spot up for grabs. And there it is, another player nearby. That's all shield ripped off. He's going to push that. Sees a player above him. He does see a player above him.
He's going to try and maybe make something happen. But look, don't forget, he still has every single rocket.
Nice rocket right there.
12 rockets. This payload is about to just destroy builds all the way around. And look, Ariel as well up on the high ground has them. So the first rocket from Ariel comes in, and then Sosman's second finds an elimination. Another rocket from Ariel up on the high ground. And look at this. Down below, they're just desperately trying to keep their builds up, and they're burning through mats. Sosman is now out, and look, he gets challenged from the front, challenged from the right, finds the 2 players, and he makes this a 1v1, but look at his HP right now. First rocket's gonna come in. How is he gonna pull this off, Monster?
I don't know if he can. He doesn't really have much going for him. Just 24 health.
He picked up 500 metal from 0 to 500. 50 builds. This is huge. If those get fully built off, they're going to absorb an entire rocket and still stay built. But
no way, dude.
This is a tough spot. Oh. That's a tall ask. That's a tall ask.
It really was. 200 HP on Ariel with the RPG as well. He was fully loaded, med kit, minis. He had everything he needed. That was a tough end game for Sosman. But hey, second place is not too shabby in this format. You get, you know, a ton of placements, but more importantly, those 2 eliminations to squeak out. We've seen the difference of 1 point was literally what all these games came down to. So that little flick of the moment, that little, you know, reaction to jump down there and go for it, that's the risk you take, and that's the payout you get.
Now we hop on over. There you go. This is, so don't forget, this is now, we're in Asia replays. You can see at the top right. So these happen again overnight while we were all asleep. I was asleep like a baby. That's not true. I woke up several times. I was mad about it. Moffin XD, though, was the victor coming out of that Asia region.
Yep, and you see there, Moffin finds someone hiding in the cone. Does capitalize on a nice little elimination. Sees the loot back there, but might be a little too far to go scavenge for, so he's just on the hunt still here. As things are poised up outside of the Dusty Divot. Really tough place to battle out of. Never want to find yourself in the center of it. Nice shot right there. As he catches someone who's running right by. These competitive players are so good with the accuracy. Oh, he's trying to play the loot hoarder here, trying to get all the mats and stuff that he did not battle for, and now he's got the storm against his back, and there's no way that man was going to get out of there, because with the 60-second threshold now, the storm can also just reward that Elam regardless to Moffin here. And whoa, he jumps into the zone for the desperate materials. Didn't even rift out. Ouch, it's going to cost him like 70 health there, Zeke.
That's a lot. Okay, so he did pick up 3 campfires. Sure, he can heal up, but that's such a tell, right? The moment you place a campfire, you're telling everyone around you, hey, I am low HP. I have to use this if I hope to survive. Now, keep in mind, he was at the edge of the storm. He had quite the rotation to make. Because he dipped into the storm, everyone else is already making their way into safety. He's going to have a relatively safe rotation, but, like, again, he's in critical condition. If he finds an Elam, it's going to be huge. That Siphon's going to just put him right back into fighting condition, but he's got to find that Elam.
Dude, talk about, like, insane rotation. First of all, he didn't get shot once coming from the further side of the Dusty Divot, and there was multiple players set up on bases. That is what we call that little bit of luck factor that sometimes you just need to kind of pull through here, because it doesn't happen like that very often. Someone gets rifted up there, Moffin lands a nice little 78. He's still in the game right now, still in the game here.
He's going to reload that heavy snipe, so just look for an opportunity. I doubt he's going to try and go for close range snipes. He's probably going to use that to just punch into people's bunkers. He has his own rift to go. If things get a little hairy, I think he probably wants to use it, because if you, this is great. Just punch through, there you go, and use the other player's rift.
Look at his health again.
Yeah, but look where we're going right now. We're going on the little lip there of Dusty Divot. That's such an incline that if you don't make it first, you can actually box other people out, and then they have to burn materials to get over the little hill there. So I like that play, just saying, you know what? This guy used the rift, and look at this. Prime real estate.
You just said it too, right? Like, you want to get on the lip there and see what you can do. Moffin comes in with some shots here. Looking for the replacement.
Wow.
Pulls off the cone, Zeke. Wow. Just like that.
And this is huge now, too, because not only does he get all the elims, the campfire's still going, so people are going to be like, oh, that player must be weak. Would we like to engage him? And Moffin sitting on 200 is like, please. No, yeah, absolutely. Like, come on in.
That'll be a big mistake for someone there. Let's look at this map here. This is the Asian region, guys. We're tuned in with Asia. Hopping into some of what occurred overnight here. Char Mew looking to get his little moment here in the show. Nice shot right there. Oh, man, Char gets hit with the shadow bomb. Don't forget, guys, that enemy is very vulnerable. You have to be careful of your surroundings. You can take damage. You're not invincible in the shadow bomb form.
Man, Charmy is just burning through materials. That was a pretty rough rotation. It's probably going to cost him in the long run because, I mean, he did go through quite a bit of mats. But, you know, Monster, I like to pose this question. I've already posed it to Pookie. I've posed it to Kitty. You know, you guys are members of the community. You know, you've taught so many of us different things. You know, you've got a podcast. In case you know who Monster D-Face is, go send him a follow. He's incredible. But you've been in situations like this, right? You've played in Summer Skirmish. You've played in, I think, Fall Skirmish as well, right?
Yep.
You know, we went to Korea together to watch the Korea Open. So you and what these players are thinking. For maybe people that are kind of new to Fortnite, that maybe this might be their first time tuning in, you want to just break down some things for them?
Yeah,
like for instance, like rotations. Like what is Metsu thinking right now as he's barreling toward trying to keep himself safe, right?
Yeah, well, like, obviously, initial threats, right? You want to handle everyone here, nice little trap play. So just even every single decision can be broken down. The way they use traps, a lot of these players, you want to double trap left and right wall, so you cut off all plans for escape.
Right.
Something small like that. Here, editing his way down, right? He does not have an escape plan. That elim right there is going to give him the launch pad, of course, to get the escape route off the high ground, but just recognizing height differences, the way competitive players play zone, they typically like to hug the zone. They never give too much, they don't take too much real estate in the end moments. They take their time and kind of hug the zone instead, flirt with that storm line. So many little different things that come into competitive play, and you can really just nitpick and break it all apart. It's so crazy in the highest levels.
Yeah, I just love talking about that stuff. I'm not great at articulating my thoughts with that kind of stuff. I understand what's happening. I'm like, oh, I'm trying to tell you a thing.
All involved, like it happens so quickly, especially in Fortnite. But that's one of my favorite parts about it is just like the action, the APM, the actions per minute in Fortnite is unparalleled to any other BR I've ever experienced, and that's what really draws me to this game specifically. So we are looking at Moffin, who pulled through, man, took it right underneath the feet of people like Aim Hero that Zeke and I had. We had the pleasure of casting it at South Korea. He crushed it.
Yeah.
We saw Sinnoh out
we met
there.
him. We met Aim
we
Hero.
met all, dude. It was like so surreal, dude,
yeah,
right?
Dude. I remember that story that would happen so vividly. We met him because we were like, you know, we're like in almost like a green room waiting to go. Yeah. And we saw players around us, and Aim Hero was like, he popped in the room, and we're like, oh, hey, like, hi.
Matter of fact, remember, there was like this divider, we were standing over it, and they were like, Zeke, I love you.
And I was like, wait, what? And they were like, yeah, you're Zeke, and you're Monster D-Face. We were like, wait, oh, first of all, congratulations, Moffin XD. You know, we know you're the victor, and that is exactly why 11 eliminations and the Victor Royale. 21-point game, massive lead for him. But yeah, I remember, and then they just called us out. They're like, yeah, you're Monster, and you're Zeke. And I was just like, what the heck?
That was definitely crazy to think outside the country.
Yeah, that was
like,
what was
we're
so...
out the country. This is Fortnite on a global scale here.
Man, how you know, that's so crazy. That was like at the beginning of the year, and now here we are, dude.
Yeah.
How time flies.
We have not made a full year casting Fortnite yet. This thing is just like exploded.
Oh goodness, the snipe
like
coming out! Oh, wow, what a massive shot coming out of Moffin there. And look, check this out. 31 players left. He's already on 6 eliminations. This guy is crazy, and this is who is going to the World Cup Finals. This is the level of play we will see in the finals.
Yep, Moffin's gonna have to bring it. When you put a player who's only experienced one region, let's just say, against the likes of the rest of the world, who knows what region is really gonna come out on top. Keep in mind too, though, guys, you know, EU and the American regions, the European and American region, will of course have a larger presence just off of the sheer numbers. So it is going to be interesting how the top 20 turns out, especially considering, you know, some presence a little less than others. But I mean, all these guys are equally skilled.
That's right.
In some capacity, they're all deserve to be there, all of them.
And you know what's funny too is we interviewed, in case you missed it earlier, go back and check out the VODs. We actually interviewed Sozman, the winner from OCE, and you know, he was just basically explaining, like, you know, we asked him how do you feel about going into the Fortnite World Cup Finals, and he was like, oh, you know, OCE plays differently than NA does, and it's going to be interesting for me going to finals and competing against that because we just play so differently. So I almost, in my head, like, I just imagine everyone kind of playing their own game going into finals, but at the same time, like, you got to think this is a $30 million prize pool. This is huge. You know, the biggest stage ever.
for different plays. I mean, but that goes against everyone else too, though.
Sure.
Because that means, like, oh man, just think about it.
I think finals gonna have its own meta.
They're gonna have a style, and of course the pressure's gonna be high, guys. I think the real question is who's gonna have the confidence to take a fight and win a fight. Like, who is straight up gonna have the confidence and just be like, you know what? I don't respect your builds. I'm pushing you. Like, who's gonna be that guy, right? Because that's really what it comes down to. If you are confident like that, that's why you see people like Bugga, Dubs, Clicks, right? Stompy. They was like, what duo are you? I don't care if you're Kinstar. I'm gonna take your wall right now.
Exactly.
And that level of play is why. And dude, we've seen Stompy do it every week. Even this time around, he got 11. He was just outside of top 10. So trust me, he's still here, guys. That's what they do. They just do crazy plays.
Yeah, that's actually something you taught me way back when. Is you cannot. Let's say it's just Zeke, me, and I'm in this game somehow. I don't know, some alternate universe, and I'm good at the game, and I'm fighting off against someone like Moffin here, who qualified as that #1 player going into finals. I cannot stop and sit here and go, that's Moffin. I know what he's capable of. I can't make a mistake. I just have to go. It doesn't matter who that is. I just have to play my game. I have to play the very best that I can. And at the end of the day, that's all I can ask for, right? Like, the moment you stop and think, that's Tfue, I think, that it's already too late. You've already made the error, right? Like, you can't stop, and some people can't. So they're like, okay, I know that's Tfue. I know he's going to try and probably do this based on what I've seen and information I have. But if you're just sitting there and thinking like, oh, man, that's Tfue. I don't know if I can fight him. Like, no, you can fight him. You've made it to finals for a reason. Take the fight if you think you can.
Yeah, right? It's also going to get crazy, too, because for Fortnite World Cup, if you guys don't know already, we're going through full games. The early game story, the contestant, the points of interest, who likes to land where the map's going to be at that point, right? Things are going to change, and the game is going to be played in a way that we have not seen yet. And that's what excites me the most, is that we're going to see 100 of the world's best under one hub. The Fortnite World Cup.
Oh man, I
Finals.
can't wait. I can't wait. And to see all the Fortnite fans there as well, kind of cheering on the people they support, it's going to be
Are you ready
amazing.
to feel the crowd's energy?
I'm going to cry.
Rip through your body?
I'm going to cry, dude.
It's literally you're going to feel the vibration of the entire stadium.
Just erupt when incredible plays happen, you know.
Oh man.
Man. Ooh, dude. Chills, dude. Chills.
Chills, dude.
Oh, yeah. We just fist bumped. You guys didn't see it. Fortnite fan, we had a little bit of a moment there. We hope you had that moment with us. Hashtag Fortnite World Cup. Are you ready? Are you hyped for the Fortnite World Cup Finals in New York City? Alter Ego here finds an elimination, cracks that player. Now, this is his first elim. He's probably hoping for more, right? At this point, he wants as many points as possible. So he's going to look to probably play a little bit more aggressive, right? But look at everyone else. Moffin, the #1 player who came through for Asia, is in this lobby, and he's dominating the high ground. 12 eliminations, by the way.
He has just been shutting it down while we've been chatting up a storm here. Moffin going for the high ground. He's holding it. Nice little side jump right there. No errors coming out of him. And look at how he uses the boom bow to crack open all the builds. Nice little 82 right there. Here comes the pressure. Can he get the follow-up? He's looking for it. Nice little side jump, and that's another one. This player is in pickaxe territory. Bye-bye jackpot. And Moff could not even get the loot off that. Couldn't get the spoils. Another boom bow crack open right there. And when a fresh build comes out, if you do not hesitate, you send a boom bow right away, you break it all open. So that's how he's able to just like catch these players off guard, because those roof panels are just, that's it, exploding right up.
Yeah.
Down to the low ground, CXV gets one elim there, and it's Macy and Mev who's going toe-to-toe. Mob still just has the dominant position.
Yeah, I mean, so he's going to drop down. He's got the single build, so he had to take a little bit of fall damage to rejoin everyone from the stratosphere. Macy's down below, and look at this. Immediately, boom, he says, I know you heard me take this fall damage. You don't know how much it was. They go for the challenge, and Moffin was prepared. He knew. Again, it's just about dictating the game, right? He's like, I want you to challenge me. You know that I'm hurt, how hurt I am. You do not know. And just like that, dictating the game yet again cleans up that victory out. 15 eliminations.
Points is that? It's that 25-point game.
That's
literally doubling his score out of nowhere. If you were in the top 10 and you had that come up, that's it.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Now, guys, you know, we've had an awesome time, but for now, we're going to hit pause. Let's send it back into studio with Dr. Lupo, because I believe the doctor is in.
What a terrible, repetitive joke, Zeke, but I appreciate the effort. I'm just kidding. Thanks, Zeke. Appreciate that. Crazy games from Asia and Oceania. you love to see kind of the meta changes and how different regions present themselves and the way that they adjust their gameplay relative to everybody else. But Europe today, and as we've seen multiple times in the past, Europe has done an excellent job of putting on a show like I think few people could even possibly imagine. And to talk about that and an interesting turn of events for who ended up at the top, joining me right now is Sundown. What do you think so far about Europe?
Thank you so much, Lupo. Indeed, it was crazy. So just a couple of quick facts I want to write down. 15 points separated 100th place and 8th place. That means a 5-point victory royale was the difference of going to New York City and being in the 100th spot. That is absurd for how close it was. Blackso, in that final game we watched, pushed him up to 61 points. He was tied at 61, but because he had the victory royale and got the average elim at the end, it pushed him into the last spot. We talk about how every single interaction ends up mattering, and then unfortunately on the outside looking in, Airwalks, the last play we saw, if he had had one more build, he could have made it up the elevation and kept the storm. Instead, lost it, lost the victory royale, and lost his spot in New York City. Mitro also on the outside looking in, 2 top 15 finishes, but not being enough. That lets you know how crazy it is. However, the player who took the top spot was Cypher's Andretta with a crazy run, and we're going to be joined by him right now. Andretta, man, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling very good.
I mean, I would hope so. So we saw you yesterday put on an incredible show, and week after week, your placings have gone up. What was the difference between this weekend and all of the other weekends? Were you just feeling it? Did you eat your Wheaties for breakfast? What's going on?
The thing is, the other weeks I wasn't that confident, but this week I decided to try and talk with someone while playing. So that kind of helped. Getting to like talk to people, getting them to calm you down and stuff. And I got good RNG. Very good.
Nice, yeah, being able to get all of that and put it together. So you got off to an incredible run, winning 2 of your first 4 games. How were you able to get those victories? Did you just dominate them out? You had a solid amount of elims. What were those wins like?
I was using the bowler to get the end game. And then I usually found out like when I needed to drop out and stuff to go for the eliminations. And I usually had my bowler until end game. So the thing is, you should try and keep your bowler until end game, because it's really strong. You can go out of your bowler, get a lot of kills, and win the game. Also, you can use the bowler to get height most of the times.
Yeah,
so I did that sometimes. And
we saw you execute on that a number of times, which is kind of something we were talking about, pushing the gameplay and actually turning the baller into something that was aggressive. Now, kind of about midway through, you looked at the leaderboard, saw you were in such a lead and knew you'd be able to close it out. But my question is, when it was all said and done, and you saw you were there, you're in the #1 spot, what did you do? Did you run around your house? Did you go tell your parents? Were you celebrating on Discord? What was that moment like?
I was celebrating so much. I actually got hosted by Symphony. My stream was going crazy. I was actually, while I was playing, like my 5th game, I started crying because I almost knew I was qualified. So that was probably one of the best moments in my life ever. I don't know what to say.
It's got to be exhilarating, honestly, to know that, especially in Europe, which we've talked about as one of the most difficult regions to qualify in. Even with 8 positions, there's so much pressure there. But I got to ask a kind of a random question. I keep seeing the lighting change on your face. What are you watching right now?
I'm actually watching the Fortnite stream.
All right, you see yourself. There's layers here. There's layers. It's very Inception level. Well, thank you so much, Andretta, for joining us. Before we let you go, though, if you could do me a favor, please, 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 please shout out your own channels, shout out your duos channels, anybody you want to.
Okay. So my Twitch is Andretta. My Twitter is Cypher Andretta. My YouTube is Andretta. And I want to shout out Shoko Laden, and all the people in that Discord. And I want to shout out my stream. Thank you so much for the support.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much. Again, incredible performance both yesterday and today. Congratulations. $10,000, a spot in New York City, and as Golden Boy would say, we'll have to get a slice of pizza. We'll be seeing you later, man.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely incredible. It's crazy to think just the age ranges too. You know, the kids that are so young, all the way up to, I believe the oldest qualified right now is 24
right now. Yep.
Consider how much they're playing for too. I don't blame him honestly for getting emotional in the middle of even halfway through his games. It's insane.
It's just nuts to me where he's like, oh, I didn't have the level of confidence. And then right after, it's like, yeah, about like halfway through my games, I started crying because I knew I'd done it. And it's like, that's the level of confidence you need to be bringing on the final day. Just huge shout out to Andretta. Go follow him on Twitter, follow him on Twitch, give him all the plugs because I promise you'll be seeing more of this prodigy. Topping Europe is an incredible accomplishment, but we have more games and more regions to be getting into. We saw Oceania and Asia just now. We're going to hop on in to Brazil for a brief little bit. So back on over to the cast as we go.
Thank you guys so much. Man, you know, I feel like we've just nerded out about Fortnite, but now seeing Andretta be there and just like talk about things, it makes me want to nerd out more.
Dude, it gives me the feels, man. These young champions coming up and coming out, and it's crazy. Like he said, he just knew he made it, because if you look at the track history of all the players who've qualified so far, I say it every week, it only takes about 5 or 6 games. That's all it takes. If you get 5 or 6 aces, just solid games, big points, big placement, you're knocking on the door.
Right.
All you got to do is not choke the rest. Just ease it out. Just ease it out. Get a couple here, get a couple there, secure the deal, and Andretta knew 5 games in, oh my gosh, I think I got the 5 that I really needed to make it to New York City. And that was it. That was like literally it. Long behold, though, he gets first in the whole thing. European, the toughest region, in my opinion.
Yeah.
One of the toughest regions. Of course, you can't take away from West, who sometimes only gets 1 spot. You know, OCE, Asia, and Brazil, of course, they only get 1 spot. It's crazy. That's arguably harder, but when you talk about mass player pool, Europe is hard, dude. To get #1 is insane.
Well, especially for Andretta, I had a card not that long ago kind of saying a few of his placement spots. Last week, we watched him end in 610th place. And now, the last solo week, now to see him in the final week come out as that #1 player. You know, that's...
It just clicks.
You know, I would associate like, you know, there's 8 spots, and if you hit one of 8, great, awesome. I've qualified, great. But to be able to say, of that 8, I was #1, look, you know, Tifus of the world, you guys need to respect my game. I came in #1 in Europe. That's why I'm here in the finals. Like, let's go. It's going to be insane. Oh, man, I love Fortnite so much. 23 people left in the current lobby, though. Monster hopping in Storm Circle 6. Now, guys, don't forget, we are hopping into Brazil games. These are live. So, left on queue times. Don't forget, it's 10 games.
An hour.
An hour 40. Okay, I was close. Darn. I was just off by 10. We have either that 3-hour window or 10 matches to play, whichever comes first. And then, obviously, we're going to, you know, make sure that, because don't forget, you can queue up even with those last few seconds and then play out an entire match. We want to just make sure everyone has enough time to wrap up their games, get those standings out. But here we go, Peru, hop into with him, 100 ping. All right.
Things are unfolding right now as we speak. So this is a live situation here. Brazil, known for another region that you have to pick up heavy elimination, secure placement points. This is not just a win every game and you make it through scenario. You need the elims as well. Nice shot right there from Peru. 100 ping. Connecting with the combat. Oh, bumps his noggin right there, and it's going to cost him a second launch pad.
Yeah, you definitely want to look up. You never want to make that happen because you waste a secondary launch pad, but it's okay. New rotation coming out. He's got to reassess. He's going to be able to get himself to safety. Now, he's already hit top 15, so everything's okay. We're still in the running here. But, you know, there's a lot of big names in the Brazil region. All the W7M boys. You see the red teams, right? You know, Snow, just to name one. You know, the X-Own King. So many talented players.
Seen Techno Viking kind of through.
Also from red, you know, man, there's so many players here that this spot could go to. Tries to challenge for the launch pad, doesn't get it, and says, Kin, I'm going to go ahead and shut you down. You took that launch pad, I need it, and that's what helps him make the rotation.
Ooh, but he does get hit by a combat. It's Ice who's in the high ground, so Peru's now found himself in a dire situation. He's got to start healing. Tony's underneath the build, putting some pressure up, but Tony gets melted by Code, Pulsari, and so does Gabriel. Just gets owned by Vanessa on the edge there. Clipnode now putting pressure down. We're going to hop into his perspective here as he's looking for this combat. That's one, that's two. Doesn't find a third, but it's okay as he raises himself up another layer. He's trying to get a brief moment of peace in this crazy storm that he's in right here. He can't even heal. A nice little shot. Fran, he catches him in the toe. It's going to keep him in the game here.
This is huge, man. He's already on 8 eliminations. When we talk about elimination counters, especially on finals, 8 is massive. You know this player has been on a spree, and look at this. Clipnote looking to play it out as technically as possible, looking for these angles, waiting for people to turn their backs and send shots over. I think he's trying to go for the wall replace.
Yeah, he hit this guy for white, so he knows he can take this right here. He's got to be careful, though. Can't let his guard down. Turns around. It's Peru, who was in a weird spot before. He was very low on health. Turns that one around. Someone else goes down to the storm right there, so Clipnote couldn't even get that. It's Vamos, who was still in the game. And Exakao holding up the high ground right now. What's he going to do? He's just walking on these builds. He doesn't have anything left. Neither does Clipnote.
In the shadow form, he just obliterates the player. That was absolutely insane. But Clipnote is the victor of that game. Like, see what it did there? You maybe saw it, maybe didn't. It's okay. Next game, though, massive prop. Oh, you see
the clip and the this and the that.
I just rhymed. No big deal. I'm not a rapper. 44 players in the next game. Moving on in. Man, he popped that ghost right in the sky. Maybe you could call him a ghost buster.
Oh.
Shout outs to Jeff.
Right,
I made your joke. We're going to high five after this from production.
Take his joke?
Yeah, he wanted me to make the joke on broadcast, so I did it. Again, guys, hashtag Fortnite World Cup. Give production some love. There's so many people that work so hard to make this all possible, and they're all wonderful human beings that I honestly cannot give and express enough love for. So just say, hashtag Fortnite World Cup production team. You guys are awesome. That would mean the world to me and to them. And an hour and a half. I guess 36 minutes. I'm just going to be specific because everyone's always like, you're rounding, don't do that. I'm sorry, it's just how I work.
Yeah, Zeke, there's 1 hour and 36 exact minutes and 13 seconds at this current moment. Every second, every moment matters.
That's right. Here we go.
It's Fax trying to get this guy to come down. Combat redeploy. He gets behind the tree. Tree works out in his favor and Shadow Bomb.
You saw it. He was like, dude, I want this elim. I worked real hard. I need to find it. And they Shadow Bomb out. They're like, no, no, no.
Oh,
and in the end, it was the elimination credit. He must have fallen to the storm. Don't forget, with those recent changes, you got to be more careful, man. That 60-second timer, you can't play around with that.
Dude, he must have. I can only imagine in shadow form, if you wall hop off of a structure and it throws you back just a little bit. It must have been just enough to hold him into the storm.
Yeah.
And that's how Fax caught that elimination here. As the congestion, this is unreal for the Brazil region. You don't see it get this crazy, but 40 players basically on a non-moving zone right now. We're just approaching the first. Luco boy finds Mew Pao there, and Oni Tomori is putting in some pressure as well. Just kind of seeing what he can find here. Fax just waiting on by, trying to...
He's got the launch pad.
Holding it in the hand.
Yeah, he doesn't want to give it away, because if you put it down early, it does make that sound, and players know, all right, community launch pad, there you go. Great, making sure that the storm overtakes it, so if anyone else wants to do it, they take the damage for it. Bro, we are nowhere. It's still 9 players. 8 players need to fall before top 25.
Yeah, this is actually insane right now. These guys are sticking around for placement in these final moments here. But if you want to take first place, you got to get Elans here, and that's why Fax is being so proactive right now.
Something to point out, too. Check the right side of your screen. The damage threshold, don't forget about that. Look at this number, though. 1,000 damage above the threshold. This guy is putting in work right now. Fax, he is going full send. He is aware. He wants to try and qualify. Remember, there's a spot up for grabs in Brazil, and these are live games happening right now. So, you know, Oceania and Asia happened overnight. We still have to crown a champion coming out of the final solo week for Brazil.
Yeah, Fax is already at 13 points, so if that was his game 1, he's way ahead of the curve here. This might be about his 3rd or so, but nonetheless, he's still in the running right now. These are some respectable points to be had. He's going for the high ground, catches him with a clothesline to Zoom, straight up, hits him with the 96. And now, he's in it, but he's going to go down to the low ground here. He doesn't want to contest for the high. He still has to pop some minis, and the server's collapsing on him with raining fire here. He's got to be extremely careful. Lucky for him, the high ground is in a battle of its own now. Sfax catches a moment to regather himself as Ganks and Lorax is in the high ground.
Man, and look at all these players coming in from the community launch pads, any rotational tools they had, the Rift to goes. Oh, yeah.
That's a weird place to be, man. You can't build on that thing.
Yeah, you got to be careful. You have to build over it.
Up and over.
A shot into the storm.
Oh, my.
That is Tuelas picked up 2. Tate as well. Frita. Batata Frita. 2 eliminations of aim.
Is that another? Oh, that one's just yoinked from him. He almost had it. But credit is still to be had here as he is turning up right now.
Bro.
I can't pronounce that the way Zeke did, but Batata Frita is going in right now. He's looking for this high ground.
You see the technical builds, too? Using the cone and then hopping out around, using that floor to catch yourself so you kind of save a build there? All right. All right, Batata Frita. I'm about it. An 82 and a follow-up. That is Lorax.
And he got the mats. That's what's important here. He does have the materials to hold out now. The high ground is here. Can he stick it out, though? Yes, players are dropping right now. We're in top 6 suddenly. So all these placements are being divvied out. Just one more person goes down, and just a little bit more is going to be rewarded to him here.
Man.
So you can see the shot there.
This was really good from him, right? Making the decision to go high ground. Look at this. He's put him in the top 5. We were top 25 when we kind of tuned into him, right around there. And because of his decision-making, he's gotten himself all the placement points. The victory route is the next threshold. And look, Monster, he's just looking to close this out.
That's right, and I love it because he's just textbook holding his high ground, but he is out of mats now. So this is where you have to go down, uses the cone right there to sit on that, and he just has to give the high ground to Avir here.
I believe that is Avalar, I think.
Oh, Avalar, gotcha,
yes,
gotcha.
I think so. Sundown can correct me at some point. He's going to go toe-to-toe with that player, though, and that is it. Good day, sir.
All right, did he get mats off that? He didn't, Zeke.
He's got the flint knock, though. He's got...
he's got the combat, so he's got right there. One more shot to Wonder Urzen is going to go down. Is he going to go down? Yes, he is. Frita connects in the final moments right there and walks away with the 6th elimination victory royale.
Man, 16-point game coming out of the Brazil region. You like to see it. Now, Fortnite fam, you know we've had so much fun hanging out with you, but for now, let's sit back in the studio and see what Dr. Lubo's got.
Thank you, Zeke. Thank you, Master D Face. You legends. I know a lot of people are wondering, and yes, we're going to look at it here in a second because the tension in Brazil is high. South America putting on an excellent show, and we want to see what the standings are, so I'm going to take a little stroll on over, and we're going to look at the board and see exactly where everybody is lining up right now, and here you go, top to bottom. Club Note sitting at 51 points, 4 games played in 2 victory royales, but right on his tail, only King, 45, just 6 points behind, and only 3 games played. You see the spread here, not too far away from each other. Multiple players from previous qualifying weeks. King, Code Nix right there. Both players already have made their way. They've already an example of exactly that. You'd love to see it. Brazil, thank you so much for everything you've done for us so far, putting on an excellent show. But before we get into the rest of the games of the day, we're going to take a quick 5-minute break, so don't go anywhere except for maybe to the bathroom. Sorry, half hour. I do this every time. Production yells at me repeatedly. I don't know how to tell time, all right? It's 30 minutes. Go get some lunch. Swing on back. See you in a bit.